Okay, I want to talk about our story from the Open Court series, the Open Court reading. You guys should have all of these books at home with you. So even if you turn back in the story that I photocopied, you should still have this with you. We are reading the story, Business is Looking Up, and there are two characters in the story. There's Jinx and Ronaldo, and a bunch of minor characters. Again, this is the story we're talking about, Business is Looking Up, with Jinx and Ronaldo. And the reason why I wanted to talk about the story today is because you guys have a reading test and a vocabulary test this week. So I kind of wanted to do a review for you. And this is a game that you can play at home and that we're going to play together. And hopefully by playing this game, it will help you review for your test. The other thing I suggest is that if you have your reading story from last time that has been photocopied, take a highlighter and highlight important things in the story. Read the story yourself. One whole time, read it completely all the way over, and then you will be able to do better on the reading test. Okay, so here's something you can do. What I did is I took some questions straight off, some ideas off the reading test. Your parents can do this. They can look at the reading test ahead of time because you already have it in your packet for this week. This is week 4, you guys. So we've taken one reading test already. And so now this is our second reading test because we do 2. Every 2 weeks we do a reading test. But this is what you guys can do. You can take some questions off the reading test, not exactly the way they're worded on the reading test, but ideas out of the book and some questions from the book, and you can put them on strips of paper like this, and you can fold them up, and then you can put them in a big pile like this, or a jar or something like that, and then you can have your parents draw a question out, or you can draw a question out, and then you can ask each other these questions, and it will help you review for the test. So if you don't have time to do that, you can do this with me right now, okay? So I drew out this first question, and it says, how are Ronaldo and Jinx alike and different? So think of that to yourself. There are 2 main characters in the story. One is Ronaldo, he is a blind boy, and one is Jinx, and she's his friend, and they're partners. Here's one way that they're alike. They both want to earn money from making their cards, right? So they both want to work together to have a business, and they both want to make money. But here's one way that they're different. I would say, and wouldn't you say too, that Jinx is a little bit more of the leader. She's a little bit bossier, right? She likes structure and order, and she wants to do everything the right way, the business way. And Ronaldo, he's a little bit more of the creative spirit. He even said his favorite part was writing in the cards and writing the messages. So that's one way they're alike and one way that they're different. You guys look back through the story and find ways that Jinx and Ronaldo are alike and different, because you're gonna have to answer that question on your test. Okay, I'm gonna draw another question out, okay? And this question is how do the other adults in the story, like the mom and Mr. Mohammadi, help Jinx and Ronaldo? So there were 2 adults that they went to for help. The first one was the mom. Do you guys remember how the mom helped them? So the mom has business sense herself because she has a business that helps people. And so they asked her what was her business advice for them. And her business advice was that you need to really get to know your customers. Why are you doing what you're doing for your customers? What is their need? And what do your customers most want? She also said, Ronaldo and Jinx, business is not easy. Business is really hard. And if you guys have a parent that's in business, they would probably say business is really hard too. And so she told them that they had to think through a lot of things like investments and marketing research and all of those things. And business wasn't just always about the end result. And Mr. Mohammadi, you guys remember Mr. Mohammadi in the story? He was the principal. He helped them because he helped them spread the word about their step cards. He even let them use the school's copy machine to make copies for their advertisement. Okay, let's draw out another question. All right, remember, you need to know all the answers to these questions for the test, all right? So if you're getting ready to take your reading test or your vocabulary test, a good idea is to reread the entire story all over again, okay, before you actually take your test. Okay, next is, what is POV? Okay, I think you guys will remember this from class. POV is point of view. It is how the story is told. You can have first person point of view, second person point of view, and third person point of view. First person point of view is when you see the word I a lot in the story. It means the character is telling the story about themselves and about being in their own situation. Second person point of view is when you see the word you a lot, and third person point of view is when you see the characters' names a lot. And if you notice in the very beginning of this story, it says, Jinx, I shouted. It says I. Then it says, I sure was excited about my business idea. So who is doing the talking in the story? Well, it's Ronaldo. So the story is told from his point of view. That's one of the questions that's going to be on your test, so make sure you guys review that. Okay, next question that I'm drawing out, you can play this game too or play along with me, is what is marketing research? What is marketing research? So that's a hard word, that's a business word. What marketing research was in the story, remember what they did? They went to Callaway Cards and they went there to find out what other cards are being sold. Is there such thing as step cards? So before you start a business, you want to see what other businesses are out there like your business and see what kind of cards are selling and what people like. It's to do a little bit of research before you start your business. And this is them looking at the cards that day at Callaway's. Remember, they were looking through all the cards and they were noticing some cards were super romantic and mushy. But one thing they did notice was that there were no step cards. So that was great for their marketing research. It's to find out information before you start your business. Okay, the next question is, why was being partners better than them doing by themselves? Why was it better that Jinx and Ronaldo were partners? Well, what do you guys think? Obviously, doing something together with a team is always better than doing it by yourself because you have more people to do the work, right? But I think because Jinx and Ronaldo both have different talents. Again, like we said, Ronaldo was more the creative one, but Jinx also had more of the business sense. They both had good ideas, so it was good that they both worked together. The other thing is that they put their money together. So it wasn't just Jinx money or Ronaldo's money. If they put their money together, they had more money for their initial investment in order to buy the supplies they needed to make the cards. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more questions here. What was special about Ronaldo's business? Again, we already said this, is that he created cards that had never been done before. Actually, I don't even know if I've ever seen these kind of cards. They were for step families. So a stepbrother, a stepsister, a stepmom, or stepdad, or step-grandparent. You don't often see that in cards. And so it was a unique and cool, and I thought it was a great idea. Okay, next is, how did they get the money to start their investment? How did they get the money to get started? An investment is, what do you put in your business in order to buy the supplies you need in order to sell the cards? And remember, I already answered that. They put their money together. So Ronaldo had some money, Jinx had some money that they had both saved up. They put it together so they could start their business together. So that's another reason why it was good that they did the business together. Okay, last question that I'm drawing right now is, how did they advertise? How did they advertise their business? An advertisement means you want to tell every single person about your business so they will all come and buy the product that you're selling. So remember, we talked about this before in the past. You can either have a service or you can have a good. A good is when you're selling a product, and a service is when you're doing something for somebody. In this case, they have a product. They have cards that they're selling. So they wanted everybody to know about it. So remember what they did is they went and made photocopies, and they sorry about that, I'm always coughing on these videos. I'm so sorry. So in order to advertise for their business, they went to the school and made photocopies and put flyers up everywhere at the community center and also at their school. Now, when you take your reading test, a couple of things are, you can actually look back in the story. So again, a great idea would be to take the photocopied story that we had and highlight all the important things in the story, so when you go to take your test, you already know where all the answers are. Second thing I recommend is to read the story again. Read it at night before you go to bed. Read it once to your parents, read it once to yourself, but you guys have to read the story on your own so that you can really know this story before you take the test. All right, I'm going to be seeing you guys on lives this week. Have an awesome job and do a great job on your reading test. Bye.